The new store. This is the one-stop shop. We have a pharmacy. We have a bootlegger's liquor. The deli, the food that you can get at a lunchtime is so amazing. The coffee shop. Certain Friday mornings, there's 30 people sitting here in all these chairs. This is the hub for people to come and visit, have their coffee, have their donuts. It's amazing what this area has done. Totally amazing.
We'll go ahead and get started. I'm Greg Stumpff, Public Works Supervisor for the City of Newcastle.
I'm Kole Schell with Engineering Associates.
We're here to discuss the 2025 improvements project and what all that entails. So I'll turn it over to Kole.
So yeah, like Greg said, this is the Newcastle 2025 improvements project. We're going to be talking about it today, the different things that go along with it. These are project representatives. It's going to be a joint project between Wyoming DEQ, SRF, which is the Wyoming Clean and Drinking Water State Revolving Loan Fund, and then the Wyoming OSSI, or the Office of State Lands and Investments. Beth Blackwell is the program coordinator or manager. She's the one that we deal with a lot, talking about the funds and stuff. Stanley Miller is the principal engineer. He's the one I deal with, getting everything approved and pushing all the documents through and stuff like that. And then Kenny Rathman, he's my boss. He's the current project engineer. He will be leaving in April next year, but I'll be taking over and taking care of everything. So to move on, this improvements project includes two different phases. We have the Delaware and York water and sewer. It's at 100% design right now. We have an approved DEQ permit for both water and sewer. We're still pending on the WildDOT permit, just a couple of submissions and then approval. Usually those don't take too long at all, like a week or two. And then moving on for the second phase, the second project, we have Sonora and Wentworth water and sewer. 35% design. We're still working on that one a little bit. Working with Greg too. DEQ permit is pending. We've been talking with them though and asking them exactly what entails in the project and what we can do and stuff like that. So the DEQ permit should move along pretty easily. And then pending WildDOT permit, we're tying into South Summit, or just Summit Street with the sewer main. So both portions of the systems are outdated and they both need replaced. Issues that the City of Newcastle Public Works Department has experienced with this infrastructure will be described by Greg.
So with this project, this pipe is life expectancy of the pipes of the water mains for these two projects is around 55 years. Both projects have a pipe that is 60 years old currently. We've got an example of the actual pipe on York Street, and you can see the cracks from the delamination. You can look at the end of this pipe later and see, turn it around, the thickness of this wall should be this thick. So it's actually separating and pushing out and failing. That's typical of the pipe we see. This pipe was actually installed in 1968. The sewer pipes involved with this one were intended to last 70 years. Currently we're about 76 years on Sonora, about 50 years on
Did you take that out?
Delaware.
Great.
Delaware pipe.
Hold on.
That's actually from our last main break on York.
Okay.
So part of the project is to replace that exact piece of pipe. Intended to replace this piece of pipe.
That was the best they had back then?
That cast iron can't survive it. Or so. At the time, it was the latest and greatest thing and the best thing in the world. PVC hadn't come out yet. It was just starting to come out. It wasn't real proven by that time, so they went with the AC.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about the Delaware and York water and sewer phase. We're going to be starting with sewer here, tying into the manhole in the highway right away, running sewer all the way up to here. This is the only portion that will include water. We'll run water down to here and tie in at this location. We're going to be pipe bursting our manholes here just because our sewer main runs on the east side of Delaware. So we're going to have to pipe burst that. But other than that, it should be a pretty easy project. Just a little bit of patchwork here with concrete and then just some re-graveling.
The Delaware Avenue road surface is in good enough shape. We felt it wouldn't be wise to go ahead and redo the surface of the road. That's why we decided to pipe bursting. So we went trenchless technology to save money on a street that's in good shape and has good subgrade.
We will have to excavate the manholes, but then they just push a pipe through the old pipe and burst the old pipe, so should be a pretty easy process. But talking about the cost estimates, if you look down here, I've blown up the bottom of our cost estimate to kind of show you the main points for the totals and all that stuff like that. We are installing approximately 1,882 linear feet of water main and 1,070 linear feet of sewer main. Our total project estimate is $950,706. Looks like we should get that for the entire project for Delaware and York. So, let you guys just take a little look at that for a bit. And then moving on to Sonora and Wentworth. We will be tying our sewer into here and within the water dot right away on Summit Street. Running sewer up to here. We have to connect to a sewer main here. We'll have to put some HDPE pipe to get around this corner. We decided that instead of installing 4 or 5 manholes and just doing short little jounts down here so we can keep our sewer line straight, we'll put in HDPE so we can kind of bend it around that corner. We've already talked to DEQ and they permit that, they allow that, and that'll save us some money with, $5,000 a manhole with 5 different manholes. We've done the cost estimating and HDPE is a little bit cheaper, so we figured that'd be a better idea. We will be installing a concrete street on here because of how steep it is. Asphalt pavement gets a little slick and stuff like that during the winter time when it rains, so they require concrete street. We're also looking into a little bit of construction over here with that retaining wall, but we haven't quite figured that out yet, so we're still in the preliminary process of that. And then we'll also be replacing water all the way down to Wentworth and then all the way down to Summit. Correctly on Summit with water?
Yes.
Okay.
Up here, we actually still have some of the original sandstone manholes. And that's our biggest problem with the sewer line is the sandstone manholes allow infiltration, not only of water, but roots, terrible amount of roots. Councilman Owens can attest to it firsthand.
But they're historic.
You can have it. I'll bring it up. I'll bring it to your house, Don.
No, take it up to Anna Miller.
This retaining wall here, we have some concerns with it. We did find out we do own the lower wall and the sidewalk, but not the upper walls. We're trying to decide how to approach the failing walls in the process.
So you're gonna take the first wall out with the sidewalk.
We're looking into different options. We're looking at cost estimates right now of the cost to take the wall out, re-pour it into a concrete structure rather than a rock structure. But there is some rock there. Our thought process is, or mine is, to take the rock that you have, we can actually cut it in half and put a veneer on it with the old original stone.
Oh, that's cool.
But there is part of it that was already replaced with concrete. And we would actually most likely use that extra rock to go ahead and rock the entire thing if the council so chose.
And that's dealing with 4 houses, is it not? 4 or 5?
Yeah, 4. I think there's 4 taps on that side.
Yeah, and then the one at the bottom probably goes to the main.
Yeah, the bottom house there at the corner actually goes to South Sun.
And we're having a preliminary design and a preliminary cost estimate done on that already. We just have some fine tuning to finish that up, and then we'll get it out to some actual contractors so they can give us a firm estimate on that. I also wanted to include, there is a manhole up over here that is substantially old, and the line that's coming from it over here, we will be deleting that line because it's just caused the city maintenance a lot of problems and it's not needed, so trying to help out and get that out of there. Other than that, I think that should be it for the Delaware, New York, or the Sonora and Wentworth phase. For the cost estimate, we're installing approximately 1,081 linear feet of water main and 1,141 linear feet of sewer main.
Wow.
The project estimate is $1,349,173
And 54 cents.
and 54 cents. Thank you.
Great, so now that's going from Summit up to Old 85.
No,
I
that's
mean,
actually
that's-
my the old hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the old hospital, and then this is that road that comes down and meets where the road goes out to the old pasture road.
Yeah, this is Mondale Heights here. This is hospital.
Murphy.
And,
So it comes down from the hospital?
yeah, this line actually goes up and around and then around.
Yeah.
In a future project, because we don't have as much issue with line up and around, that's why we decided to wait on that one and get rid of the deal with the stuff
So then
here.
it comes down and gets on Wentworth
Yeah, comes down to Wentworth.
to
Right here.
Summit?
Yeah. This is where we replaced that retaining wall
Okay.
a couple years ago. We don't have a lot of problem with the water, but just like Delaware and York, everything east of that to Gradish, all the way through Gradish and Grade School, the majority of the water travels this line. We've already replaced the water over here and down to the courthouse, and then from here over to our pump station. So we're kind of picking up where another project ended and just continuing on with that project.
And we're getting rid of a bunch of manholes that are a safety issue and people have been engulfed in to handle all the sewage coming down from Rondell Heights. So it'll be nice to know that that one doesn't exist anymore.
First time we had to deal with the one at Mondale Heights, I actually ended up spending 7 hours in manhole straight with a chainsaw to get all the roots out of it. When I started, my hard hat was outside of the manhole. When I got done, I could not reach out of the manhole. So there was over 5 foot of roots in it. Oh my gosh. We held over 2,000 pounds of roots out of that time. The time Councilman Owens was in there, we held 1,000 pounds of roots out. And that was 3 years later, I think.
I'll try to look at this a little bit too, if you'd like.
That's what it's said.
And now our funding plan. The funding plan could be reviewed at the Newcastle City Clerk's office, right here. Contact Stacy Haggard. And I'll let Greg talk about that a little bit more.
So with water assets being the age they are, and plan for fiscal replacement of this project, we have submitted a $1 million grant and received it from the mineral royalties grant out of the 2.4 million. The rest of the funds will apply we are applying for an SRF loan. Our loan interest is 1% out of the 2.5 we started with, so we did decrease the interest significantly.
How much is the loan?
Loan will be for the rest of it, I think it's actually 2.1 is what we applied for. The cost has gone up just in the last year that much. So we might have to pull some money out of reserves to cover the rest of it, or cut, depending on the bids, cut some of the project.
Yeah, the last 4 years, the market has been really volatile, so.
They can put a number together today and tomorrow it could change. Yeah, it's basically that's it. We're receiving funding from SRF and MRG to pay for the project. The loan length is 20 years, so we'll be paying for this for the next 20 years. We did include this into our rate analysis, so we have budgeted in the rate analysis for this project.
And a little side note too, I've also conducted an environmental review on both of these, and it's completed, and Stanley Miller with SRF has put that out on his website, and we're good for exclusion from any extra environmental issues or requirements. Any questions from anybody?
Do you have any kind of warning of how much we would have to be pulling out of reserve?
Looking at the new estimate, around 300,000.
Thank you.
We actually start this process in January of each year. We do the application for the SRF. We apply to have it put on the intended use plan for the state revolving funds. In January, this project we estimated was 2.1. So in 9 months, it increased 300,000.
Well, let's do everything tomorrow, so things don't keep going, huh?
Councilwoman, if you can come up with the money, I'll do it. So,
We're good.
any other questions? Anybody want to spend more time looking at our pipe? Because we get to stare at it all the time. So.
It's gonna be pretty tough to put any type of quantum on that, to just leave it to,
Well, and that's part of the reason we're doing we have the Forest Hill Way project planned. We went to put a tapping sound on it, and the pipe is swelled enough that a tapping sound was designed to fit AC pipe no longer fits. The pipe is actually swelled that much all the way around. We couldn't do that. We could barely get the quantum fittings slipped onto the pipe to cut a piece out, tap a piece of PVC in order to do the down part valve.
When we get these two done, how much left, what percentage is left of the AC pipe?
With the recent projects we did on Boyd, South Summit, 7th Avenue, we'll still be at around 52%.
We still have 52% left to replace.
Yes. Problem is, this is not a big sandwich. We don't eat it all at once, we have to take bites.
Yeah.
So, that's the purpose for the 10-year plan.
There's a lot of pipe within Newcastle, so it's gonna take some time and money.
If I recall, I believe during the water master plan, they said we had, I want to say 82,000 feet left. And these two projects will pull just over 2,000 feet out of it. Off that list.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
Yeah,
Couple projects here is what my intent is.
at least we're doing something.
Exactly.
So do you need a vote?
No.
All right, thank you guys for your
Any
time.
questions?
Just so you can see it too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
I saw it earlier today, yes.
that's a fantastic example to take and show around.
Sorry, I was ready to put it in.
Yeah.
Are you taking it with you on the Cheyenne?
I'm thinking.
Yeah.